As Earth Day approaches, the interest in electric vehicles continues to explode. Manufacturers are set to debut dozens of new electric models by the end of 2024. And according to the latest data from Cars.com, more Americans than ever before are ready to make the switch. Editor-in-Chief Jenni Newman is here to share these details from their new EV buying guide and discuss the most important things to consider before buying an electric vehicle. Jenni, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's start by talking about America's interest in electric vehicles. How has it changed in, say, the last year?
Over the last year, we've seen consumer interest on Cars.com increase by an astounding 84%. And that's interest not only in new EVs, but also in used. And in Arizona, we've seen that number increase by 72%. So we know there's interest in your market.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, especially out here in Arizona, I see a lot of Teslas on the road, so it seems like a lot of people are interested in those EVs. But what are Cars.com's top picks for new EVs hitting the market this year in 2023?
Our experts have selected 4 EVs that are perfect for different lifestyles. For instance, for families, we recommend the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is an SUV EV. For people looking for a value pick, it's the Chevy Bolt EV, which is priced around $27,000 before any tax incentives. For the commuters out there, the Kia Niro EV, it's a hatchback that was redesigned for 2023. And for luxury, the Genesis electrified G80. It is simply a stunning sedan.
You know, I will say my mom drives a Genesis, and one of the coolest things about it, the electric side of it, obviously, but when you open the car doors, it plays like a little jingle for you before you get in. I love it. So
it's welcoming, right?
It's so cool, yeah. So what about interest compared to local vehicle availability? Tell me a little bit about that.
That's an interesting one. You know, we see that there's increasing interest in states like North Dakota, Mississippi, Utah, and Montana. However, the inventory in those states is lower compared to states like California, Texas, Florida, and New York. And the good news for Arizona is that inventory ranks at number 9, so quite high in our rankings of major cities.
Yeah, that is pretty high. I wonder if it's the proximity to California, maybe? Maybe that gives us kind of a higher ranking. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah, yep. But so talking about the buying process, what do you think is holding potential buyers back from making the move to EVs?
You know, I think the first thing that's holding buyers back, of course, is cost. Switching over to a new EV can be expensive. They average around $60,000, and that's quite the bite for a lot of shoppers. Public charging infrastructure is also a concern for a lot of EV shoppers as they're just learning to think through what does it take to go on that longer drive or road trip.
Gotcha. And I'm sure that there's also kind of a cost benefit when it comes to gas, and I know gas prices are going up, so maybe offsetting that initial investment could be that kind of future potential to save money as well. Something along those lines.
Absolutely, and I think that's a really important thing to think about when you're considering cost is you are going to be saving on the gas side of your budget, and you will see your electric bill go up just a little bit if you charge at home, which is something that we recommend, but it's not out of proportion with what you're paying for gas.
Gotcha. So what are the top 3 things that you would say to consider before buying an electric vehicle?
Well, I just mentioned home charging. So one of the things you want to think about is how you're going to charge this. Cars.com, we recommend charging at home, which usually involves a level 2 charger that you need to bring in an electrician to basically help you assess whether or not you can easily install one. So that's an additional cost, of course. And we mentioned cost with the $60,000. It is a leap for a lot of people. The good news is there are tax incentives that are not only at state levels and federal levels that can help offset that initial cost. And then range. So when you're shopping for an EV, think about how you drive your car on a daily basis. Is it just a few miles a day? You're going to be fine for range. If you're going 150 miles, you might need to think through whether an EV is right for you and which EV is the right one, because ranges do differ.
I love that. Oh, that's so great. Well, Jenni, tell us really quickly where viewers can get a little bit more information.
For more information on our EV buying guide, go to cars.com/EV.
I love it. All right. Well, you pretty much convinced me. So I don't know. Maybe you'll see me in a Genesis here pretty soon. Fingers crossed. Thanks so much for being with us, Jenni.
Thank you for having me.
For sure.